Hi, I'm Joel Tokheim. I'm a proud member of the Alpine Climbing Gym. I'm 72 years old. I'm a physical therapist for 48 years here in the Manteca-Ripon area. My wife and I have been together for 48 years, and we have 4 children. I started climbing in the early 1970s in Southern California. The first climb I did was called the Trough at Big Rock. The rating was a 5.4, and I remember it being the hardest climb I thought could be done in the world. After the fear of it, I did have a feeling of just elation that I had never felt before, and I realized at that time that I wanted to make climbing my hobby.
Hi, I'm Adam Tokheim. My father's Joel Tokheim. Yeah, so I grew up knowing my dad was an amazing climber. Before I was born, he was in National Geographic for climbing the nose of El Cap. I had older siblings, so I always heard about it. You know, when I'd go to Yosemite, he'd be off with my older brothers climbing, and I would be taking the Yosemite bus around the loop the whole time. Then my brothers got older, they found girlfriends, and I became his climbing partner. And ever since then, we still climb. I have some other climbing partners that I have, but my dad is always the first guy I call to see if he can go that weekend.
So fortunate to have a son, Adam, who still likes to climb with his dad. We look so forward to coming down to the gym with my son and climbing with the grandkids and teaching them the safety and the rules of climbing, and at the same time for them to have a great workout. I love going back to Yosemite with my son Adam and doing many of the old haunts that I did. The only difference now is that he's leading and I'm following.
Yeah, it's awesome. I get to climb with my dad every day. When I talk to people, they're always like, "What? You hang out with your dad?" We both have the same passion. We love climbing. We love the Lord, so we just get along so great doing that. And now my kids, who also love the Lord, also love rock climbing, they're coming with us. It's great. They get to see their grandpa all the time, and they get to climb with them. They get to play sports. It's so much fun.
After my wife and I had finished school, we came back to our hometown of Manteca, and I immediately signed up for the Yosemite Mountaineering School of Climbing. In those days, there were 3 classes. There was the beginning rock climbing and the intermediate 1 and 2. What was interesting about the intermediate 2 was it was all about placing protection. We had just been transitioning from the pitons, which was scarring the rock, to what was called clean climbing using passive cams. So after I got my certificate from the School of Climbing, I felt in a small way I was ready to take on Yosemite. Fridays after work, my wife and I would pack up our 1970 VW bus with the kids and the climbing equipment, and we would head to Yosemite. She was very gracious to take the kids for a hike and exploring while I continued to climb in the valley and in the high Sierras. Back in the early days, they did not have the super topo maps. The best they had was, I've got one here, is Steve Roper's climbing guide to the valley into the high Sierras. That's where I learned that the journey can be just as important, if not more important, than summiting, being with your friends. It was not unusual to have troubles finding the base of the route. Once you're on the route, getting off route and having to bail and rappel off, only to come back with your friends the next week and try again. As my kids got older into climbing, I thought it would be neat if we had a rite of passage, kind of like the Maasai warriors when they challenged a lion. So I decided for my children that the lion would be the Royal Arches. It gives you a big wall feeling, but yet doable. After they successfully completed the climb, we would have dinner in Yosemite Valley, gave them a certificate of a rite of passage from adolescence to adulthood.
One thing though I have learned is when I'm climbing without my dad, he's always horrified of what's happening because he's not there. And I was always like, Dad, I'm super safe. And now that I have kids coming, I'm going to be there too. I'm like, oh man, I need to be with them. I'm scared about that.
The two that I'm most proud of is in the late 70s is the nose on El Capitan, and the second would be the Northwest regular route on Half Dome that I did traditionally in one day. We're very fortunate to have a quality climbing wall here in Ripon in our own backwoods, and whether you're honing your skills for an outdoor climb or you're looking for a place for fitness for you or yourself, Alpine has it all here for you. You can work on your strength, you can work on your endurance or on your balance all in one with just climbing. You do not have to work the individual parts. For those who are just learning to climb, I would certainly take a class to learn rope management and safety, and then climb with someone who is experienced to climb. I think the indoor climbings now are just fantastic to gain the strength, the endurance, and the mental agility for preparation for going outside. Last part is I'd just like to thank Jonathan and the staff here for providing a safe and yet a adventurous environment for people of all ages. So whether you're 5 years old or 85, this is a great place to hone your skills for climbing.